I never thought I'd need travel insurance. I mean, come on, I'm a healthy person. I've been on countless trips. Who even thinks about getting sick while they're on vacation, right? But that all changed during my solo trip to Thailand. I was so excited. I'd been planning this trip for months. It was going to be my big adventure. The one where I proved to myself I could handle anything. But everything went sideways fast. I had just arrived, jet-lagged, in this bustling city full of energy, color, and smells I could barely wrap my mind around. I was overwhelmed and in awe at the same time. And then it hit. It started as a little scratch in my throat. I shrugged it off. Maybe I was just dehydrated. But within hours, my body felt like it was being torn apart. Fever. Chills. I was shaking uncontrollably in the heat, which felt like a sick joke. I couldn't even enjoy the food, which, if you know me, is a big deal. I wasn't able to do anything but curl up in my tiny hotel room, trying to sleep, but even that was impossible because the room was spinning. I tried to push through it. Maybe it was just a 24-hour thing, right? I told myself, it's fine, I'll be okay. I'm just in a different environment. I'll rest and be back to normal soon. But the next day? Worse. I couldn't even get out of bed to go to the bathroom without feeling like I was going to pass out. I was scared. I didn't know what was happening to me. And that's when it hit me, I was alone. Completely alone. I didn't know the language, I didn't have anyone to call, and I wasn't prepared for this. I hadn't thought about what I'd do if something went wrong. And that's when I realized I was completely vulnerable. So I did what anyone would do, I Googled. I tried to figure out what I should do, and that's when the panic really set in. Medical care in a foreign country isn't cheap. It wasn't just a matter of calling a doctor. It was a matter of wondering if I could even afford it if I did. I'd read horror stories about tourists getting stuck with massive bills for basic treatment, and I was terrified that this could be me. I didn't have a backup plan, no emergency funds set aside for something like this. I felt totally lost. But then, in the midst of my panic, I remembered something I'd heard about a while ago. Travel insurance. Now, I know. We all think we don't need it. It's one of those things we assume is either too expensive or just unnecessary. But in that moment, I realized it was probably my best shot at getting the care I needed without going broke. So, I did a little research. I found auras.insure. I'd heard a couple of people mention it, but honestly, I hadn't really paid attention until now. But the more I read, the more it seemed like exactly what I needed. I wasn't looking for a complicated policy or something that would cost me an arm and a leg. I just needed something simple. Something that would cover me if things went sideways in a place I didn't know, with no backup. I ended up signing up, and I'm so glad I did. Auras helped me with everything. I was able to call for assistance and get connected to a local medical provider without the stress of worrying about how I was going to pay for it all. They made the process so much easier than I ever imagined it could be. And honestly, the fact that I could focus on getting better instead of stressing about how I'd afford to get treated, it was a relief. It changed everything. I ended up going to a local clinic, got the treatment I needed, and a few days later, I was back on my feet. That experience taught me something I'll never forget. You never know when something is going to go wrong. You never know what's waiting for you around the corner when you're traveling solo. But having travel insurance, something so simple, can completely change the game. You can't predict the future. And no matter how healthy you are, things happen. But having that peace of mind, knowing that if the worst case scenario happens, you've got someone in your corner, it's invaluable. So yeah, travel insurance might sound like just another thing you don't need, but let me tell you, it's a life-saving hack. Trust me, you'll be glad you have it when you're in a foreign country, alone, and sick. If you're planning a trip soon, do yourself a favor. Look up auras.insure. It's the best thing I did for my peace of mind. You can find the link in the description, just in case you want to check it out. Stay safe and take care of yourself out there.